And we're in the lesson, Remember the Sabbath Day. Remember the Sabbath Day. So we want to start out in Psalms 134. Psalms 134. That remembers the Sabbath Day is something that Yahweh told us, excuse me, as his people to do in the fourth commandment of the infamous 10 commandments. Psalms 134. And this is one of the reasons why, as the first temple that me and Brother Micaiah started out in,
Hallelujah.
the congregation of Israel, that Yahweh used Messenger James Stearns to head, and he had his main Sabbath service, which started at 7:30 p.m. in the evening, and then on the light part of the Sabbath, he would have his children's class at 1 o'clock. Then he would have the adult Bible study at 2:30. So Psalms 134, Messenger Stearns knew that, and we also know that the Sabbath starts in the evening,
yes,
like Yahweh starts all the rest of his days, where the night, the dark part comes first before the light part. So we will be bringing in the Shabbat, the weekly Shabbat, which is the first holy day that Yahweh created.
Yes.
And we will be bringing it in on the night part of the Shabbat from now on.
Yes, hallelujah.
We will still have a service on the day part, but it will be our Bible study. All right, Psalms 134, and let's read verse 1, please, sis.
Behold, bless ye Yahweh, all ye servants of Yahweh, which by night stand in the house of Yahweh.
Yes.
Behold, Barak ye Yahweh.
Yes.
All ye Ebed of Yahweh, which by Layil stand in Habayit of Yahweh. Well, this is what we're doing. By Layil, or night, standing in the house of Yahweh.
Yes.
This is what we do on all the Kadash Yom, which the weekly Shabbat is a Kadash Yom. It's a holy day. It's the first feast. It's the first Kag, is the first Moed that Yahweh instituted, and we saw from the definition it's a celebration.
Yes, it is.
It's a rest day.
Hallelujah.
It's a day to recuperate. It's a day to be refreshed.
Hallelujah.
It's a day officially set aside by Yahweh. The very first one that we would be in his presence for 24 hours, have it totally dedicated to him, have our thoughts center around him, have our words center around him,
how it's supposed to be.
And we're going to find out it's the best day to read your Bible, to get into what Yahweh said in his word in the Bible.
Yes, it is.
But it says, Barak Yahweh, all ye Ebed of Yahweh, which we are, we're his servants, which by night stand in the Bayit of Yahweh. All right, verse 2.
Lift up your hands in the sanctuary and bless Yahweh.
It says, lift up your hands in the sanctuary. This temple is our sanctuary. It's one of the little sanctuaries that Yahweh has pocketed throughout the earth. This is holy ground that we're standing on. So lift up your hands in the sanctuary and Barak ye Yahweh. This is what we're doing, Baraking Yahweh in the sanctuary by lifting up our hands.
Hallelujah.
All right, let's go to Lamentations. Lamentations, the second chapter. Lamentations, the second chapter. So remember the Shabbat day, which comes every 7 days. That's the one that comes most often. That Yahweh said, and be sure you remember it. Lamentations. The second chapter, and we want to start at verse 2, please. Lamentations, I'm sorry, 6. Lamentations, second chapter, and I want verse 6.
Hallelujah.
2 and 6.
And he has violently taken away his tabernacle, as if it were of a garden. He had destroyed his places of the assembly. Yahweh had caused the solemn feasts and Shabbats to be forgotten in Zion, and had despised in the indignation of his anger the king and the priests.
So this is what happened to our forefathers because they polluted Yahweh's Shabbat. It says he had violently, this is Yahweh, taken away his tabernacle, his temple, as if it were of a garden. He had destroyed his places of assembly. Yahweh had caused the solemn feasts and Shabbats to be forgotten in Zion, talking about among his people, and in Jerusalem. He had despised in the indignation of his anger Hamelech and HaKohen. Why? Because the king and the priest were not doing what Yahweh called them to do.
That's it.
Were not representing him like he set him up to represent him.
Right.
And we had looked at how in 2 Chronicles, the 36th chapter, and verse 21, it says to fulfill the word of Yahweh by the mouth of Yirmiah until the land had enjoyed her Shabbats. For as long as she lay desolate, she kept Shabbat to fulfill 70 years. So this is when our forefathers went into captivity in Babylon. And Yahweh said, then the land of Israel could enjoy her Shabbats. Why? Because our forefathers were polluting the Shabbat. They were profaning the Shabbat. And we looked at that Hebrew word, the English word profane and pollute. It's the Hebrew word kalal, that's Chalal, found in Strong's number 2490. It is a primitive root word which means to bore or to wound, to dissolve. So our forefathers were living in the land of Israel dissolving the Shabbat. In other words, acting like there was no Shabbat. Not keeping it, not doing what Yahweh said, not resting. And he's talking about this weekly Shabbat. The one that comes most often is the one that people break most often. Not us. He said the English word pollute, the Hebrew word kalal, it means to prostitute the Shabbat, to treat it as a common thing, to break it, to take the inheritance thereof, to cast it away as profane, and to slay it. So we see that Yahweh takes keeping this first holy day, which is the 7th-day Shabbat, very seriously. All right, let's go to Isaiah or Yeshaya 56. So it's not a light thing. It's the first holy day he created. And it is the one that comes most often. And he takes it very seriously. In other words, he wants us to rest every 7 days. That's why he set it up as a holy day. Well, you understand, we have the yearly holy days. We're going to Isaiah 56. But you also have a weekly holy day.
Yes.
Isaiah 56, we're going to start at verse 4.
Hallelujah.
Isaiah 56, and let's read verse 4, please.
For thus says Yahweh unto the eunuchs that keep my Shabbats, and choose the things that please me, and take hold of my covenant.
Now here's Yahweh talking about some people that keep his Shabbat, which we are those people. It says, for thus amar Yahweh unto the eunuchs that shamar my Shabbat. So now he's talking about more than one Shabbat. He's talking about the first one, which is the weekly Shabbat, the first holy convocation, and he's talking about his yearly Shabbats. He's talking about all of them. He said, and that choose the things that please me. So this pleases Yahweh.
Yes, it does.
And take hold of my bereavement. So this is part of our covenant with Yahweh. All right? Keeping every seventh day holy. He said, now this is what I'm going to do to the eunuchs that please me. All right? By keeping my weekly and yearly Shabbat. Verse 5.
Even unto them will I give in my house and within my walls a place and a name better than the sons and of daughters. I will give them an everlasting name that shall not be cut off.
Why is he going to do this? He says, even unto them, these eunuchs that keep my Shabbat, even unto them, I'm going to give in my bayit and within my walls a place and a shem better than of the children of Israel. Of Ban and Ba and Bad. I will give unto them an everlasting shem that shall not be cut off. So there are some non-Israel by their ethnic group that are going to be put above Israel by their ethnic group. Why? Because of them profaning Yahweh Shabbat, prostituting Yahweh Shabbat, treating it as a common thing. And again, sometimes when things are done too frequently, people have a habit of taking it for granted.
Right,
And
right.
that's what people have done to Yahweh's first holy day. But we are not of those people.
Praise be to the mighty Yah.
All right? He said they're going to have a name better than of sons and daughters in my house and within my walls. He's talking about New Jerusalem.
Right, right.
All right, verse 6.
Also the sons of the stranger that joins themselves to Yahweh, to serve him and to love the name of Yahweh, to be his servants. Everyone that keepeth the Shabbat from polluting it and taketh hold of my covenant.
And then
Hallelujah.
he says, okay, not only the eunuchs, but Haban of the
I
stranger.
know, right?
So that includes all the
That-
other ethnic
that's
groups,
it.
all the other non-Israel. Even unto the sons of strangers that join themselves to Yahweh to Evanston. So when you join yourself to Yahweh, you serve him.
Yeah, yeah, so
You
much.
don't just
Yes.
say, I'm joining to Yahweh, and then you do what you want to do. He said to Evanston and to have Hashem of Yahweh. That's why we're on this Layil.
Yup.
Because we love the name of Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
To be his Ebed, his servants, at every Akkad that Shamar HaShabbat from polluting it and taking hold of my bereavement.
That's it.
Yeah. And the biggest sign that people see you exhibiting is when that seventh holy day, when
Hallelujah.
that 7-day holy day comes around every 7 days, what are you doing?
Huh?
Are you definitely being at the temple?
Right,
Are
right.
you definitely coming to the official day that Yahweh set up? Let's go to Exodus, the 31st chapter. So he said the sons of the stranger and the eunuch going to be put above
Everyone.
some of natural Israel. Why? It depends on what they do or
Right,
don't
right.
do. So Yahweh ordained the 7th day for us to have a barrier against the day-to-day worries of the world.
Okay.
Again, he said he made the Shabbat for man, and man was made for the Shabbat.
Okay.
We keep it to come under Yahweh's protection.
Yes.
That's why we're here on this, bringing in the Shabbat on the Layil part.
Yes.
It is a different day marking those he has made into a different people.
Okay.
Exodus 31. So if you throw it away, then you throw away your own mark.
Okay.
You're just a no-name person going somewhere. And you can say with your mouth all the time about how you represent Yahweh and you know Yahweh, but if you don't have his mark, talks about there's going to come a time when the beast and the anti-Mashiach is going to put their mark in people's foreheads.
Right,
Well,
right.
they're putting their mark in their foreheads now.
That's right.
And we're putting Yahweh's mark in our forehead now.
Hallelujah.
Why? By being here on the holy days that he set up,
Right.
especially the one that was first set up.
Hallelujah.
Exodus 31, let's start at verse 12.
Praise
This is a
Yahweh.
different day, marking those of us he's made into a different people.
Right,
Exodus 31 and 12, please.
And Yahweh spake unto Moshe, saying,
13.
Speak thou unto the children of Israel, saying, Verily my Shabbats ye shall keep, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generation, that ye may know that I am Yahweh that doth sanctify you.
So he said, Amar, he told, this is Yahweh talking to Moshe, and he said, Amar, thou also unto Haban of Yisrael, Amar, verily my Shabbat. And again, he's talking about the first one he set up, which is the 7th day, as well as the rest of his Shabbat.
Right.
You shall Shema, for it is a sign between me and you.
Okay.
It doesn't stop. It said throughout your generations. That ye, see, Yahweh already knows.
Okay.
We have to know that ye may yada, that I am Yahweh that does sanctify you. That's why he said every 7th day you rest. Every 7th day you check out of the world, check out of creation, and check into the Creator.
Yeah.
That's what that's for.
It's a must.
Every 7th day we're reminded of the Creator because he's the one that rested on the 7th day after he had worked 6 days.
Praise the mighty
He
God.
didn't need to rest, but he did it so that we would know, okay, check out now. I've worked my 6 days.
Right.
Now check into Yahweh and think about the Creator. All right, verse 14.
Ye shall keep the Shabbat, therefore, for it is holy unto you. Everyone that defiled it shall surely be put to death. For whosoever doeth any work therein, that soul is cut off from among his people.
Now he switched from all of the Shabbats, the first one and the yearly, and he's saying you shall shamar the Shabbat. He's talking about that seventh
Right,
day,
right.
the first holy day that comes every 7 days. You shall keep the Shabbat, therefore it is Kadash unto you. Every akkad that defileth it or polluteth it shall surely, no doubt, be put to Mavet. For whosoever doeth any work therein, that nephesh shall be cut off from among his aim. And just because, as the Greeks said, Zeus throws a thunderbolt, just because Yahweh didn't throw a thunderbolt immediately when we do something, it's just his hasid, it's just his mercy. It gives us a chance to open our mouth and repent and to get back right. Doesn't mean it's not coming. All right? He said, keep this first one that I set up, or you will surely be put to death. If you do any work on that day, the 6 days that he said you have to do it, it's just a matter of time before that death is going to come on. All right, verse 15.
6 days may work be done, but in the seventh is the Shabbat of rest, holy to Yahweh. Whosoever doeth any work in the Shabbat day, he shall surely be put to death.
He's talking about this weekly one now. 6 Yom may work be done, but in the seventh is the Shabbat of rest, of Shalom. Kadash to who? To Yahweh. Whatever is holy to Yahweh is holy to me. And it's holy to you if you're his people. Whosoever doeth any work in the Shabbat Yom, he shall surely be put to Mavet. He said it twice so we can get it. Verse 16.
Wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Shabbat, to observe the Shabbat throughout their generations, for a perpetual covenant.
17.
It is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. For in 6 days Yahweh made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day he rested and was refreshed.
So the Shabbat, this 7-day rest, is going on forever. It's never going to stop.
Never, ever.
Even in the kingdom, it's never going to stop. Wherefore, Haban of Yisrael shall shamar ha-Shabbat, to observe ha-Shabbat throughout their generations for a perpetual bereavement. No end to it. And it's a sign between me, Yahweh, and the band of Yisrael forever. For in 6 Yom Yahweh made Shemayim and Eret, and on the 7th Yom he rested and was refreshed. This is what we do every 7 Yom. Rest and refresh. Just because we have to get dressed and come out to the temple doesn't mean we're not resting and being refreshed.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. Let's go to Deuteronomy, the 14th chapter. So Yahweh said it's a sign between him and us. Forever. The English word sign is the Hebrew word oath. That's off. That's O-W-T-H. It's found at Strong's number 226. And it means in the sense of appearing. It means it's a signal. It means as a flag, a beacon, a monument, an omen, a prodigy. It's evidence. It's a mark. It's a miracle. It's an ensign. It's a token. It's a distinguishing mark. It's a banner. It's proof. Us coming here to the temple is proof. Us keeping every 7th day holy, like Yahweh said, is proof that we're servants of Yahweh. So it doesn't matter what I say with my mouth. If I'm not keeping this sign, the first holy day that Yahweh set up, there's no banner on me. There's no mark on me. There's no evidence that I'm Yahweh's person. That I belong to Yahweh. No evidence. Deuteronomy 14, and let's read verse 2, please. Deuteronomy 14 and verse 2.
For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh thy Elohim, and Yahweh hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself, above all the nations that are upon the earth.
Hallelujah.
This is part of our peculiarity.
Yeah.
It says, for thou art a Kadash am unto Yahweh thy Elohim. And Yahweh hath chosen thee to be a peculiar am unto himself.
Right,
How do you be peculiar? You do what he tells you to do.
Right.
How do you be unpeculiar? Be just like everybody else. Be all rebellious and don't do what he tells you to do. It says, above all high go we that are upon high errant. We're in Deuteronomy. Let's go to Deuteronomy 26.
Praise the mighty
You
Yah.
got the sign of Yahweh on you.
Yes, we peculiar. We do things differently than the world.
Be glad to do it, because then people know, hey, there's something peculiar about them.
it's
And those that know
strange
Yahweh
people.
understand what it is peculiar
Yeah.
about you. You're a servant of Yahweh,
Hallelujah.
and you love Yahweh,
Hallelujah.
and you love obeying Yahweh.
That's it.
There's some people think that they can say they love Yahweh,
Huh.
but they're disobeying, or they want to pick and choose what they obey,
Huh.
Right.
and still think that the sign, the banner of Yahweh is
Oh,
on them,
no.
the market. No, it's not. No, it's not. Deuteronomy 26 and verse 17.
Hallelujah.
Thou hast avouched Yahweh this day.
Oh, I'm sorry, I want you to do 18. Excuse me.
And Yahweh hath avouched thee this day to be his peculiar people,
Okay.
as he hath promised thee, and that thou shouldest keep all his commandments.
How many of his commandments? All of them. And Yahweh is standing up for us this Yom. Why? Because we're standing up for Yahweh.
Yep.
This is our response to knowing that Yahweh made the 7th day holy. Our response is we come to the temple and we keep the 7th day holy. And we rest and we do what he said to do.
That's
and
right.
we come to encourage the people of Yahweh. Let them see our face.
Hallelujah.
Because Yahweh said, on this 7th day, you think about somebody other than yourself.
Uh-huh.
So it may be a little uncomfortable. Some people think, okay, I'm keeping the Shabbat day. I'm all in my bed. And okay, it's 0 degrees outside. I'm in my bed. I got my quilt over my head. And I'm comfortable. I'm remembering the Shabbat day. No, you're not. You selfish somebody, you. Yahweh said, you think of somebody other than yourself.
Right,
He
right.
said, you provoke others to good works. How?
Yes.
By appearing and letting them see you.
That right.
This is what lifts them up. He said,
Hallelujah.
this is what the Shabbat is for. He said, and Yahweh has avouched thee this Yom to be his peculiar am, and he had promised thee that thou shouldest shema all his mitzvah. All right, verse 19.
And to make thee high above all nations which he hath made, in praise and in name and in honor, that thou mayest be an holy people unto Yahweh thy Elohim, as he hath spoken.
And this is what he's doing with us right now.
Right,
He's
right.
making us high above all going,
Yeah,
which he had made. In Halal and in Shem and in Kabod.
Yep.
And that thou mayest be a Kadash am unto Yahweh the Elohim, and he is a mark. Each Shabbat day that we obey Yahweh, each 7th day, he's lifting us up higher and higher.
Yes,
He's
he
giving
has.
us a
Yes,
better
he
name. He's working everything out for our
Hallelujah.
good. Not only for us,
Hallelujah.
but our family. Everything is turning around for good for us.
Hallelujah.
Because this is what he said. He made us that promise.
Yes.
This is what he's doing. Let's go to Acts, the 13th chapter.
Praise
New
up.
Testament to Acts. Hallelujah. So on the 7th day, we study our Bibles. And this is actually the best day to read your Bible
Yep.
on. The best day and the best place to do it.
Yep.
At the sanctuary, at the temple, among true yoke fellows.
Hallelujah.
Acts 13. Doesn't mean you don't read it during the week, but this is the best time.
Yes, it is.
This is the most anointed time. Acts 13, verse 27, please.
Hallelujah.
For they that dwell at Jerusalem and their rulers, because they knew him not, nor yet the voices of the prophets which are read every Shabbat day, they have fulfilled them in condemning condemning him.
All right, so it says, for they that dwell at Jerusalem and their rulers, because they knew him not. Talking about Yahweh, talking about Yahshua. Nor yet the voices of Hanabi, which are read every Shabbat Yom. This is what we're reading now.
Right, right.
The voices of what Ruach HaKadosh said through the Nabi, through the prophet. They have fulfilled them in condemning him. That's what we come to the temple for, so we can read the voices of the prophets. Read what Yahweh told the prophets to say. All right? When Acts 13, skip down to verse 44. It says they're read every Shabbat day. Yes, they are. Acts 13 and 42, please.
42?
Yes, let's start at 42. I'm sorry, I said 44, but I'm on 42.
And when the Hebrews were gone out of the synagogue, the Gentiles besought that these words might be preached to them the next Shabbat.
All right, so here they were reading out of the Torah, reading out of the book.
Right, right.
On the Shabbat day, and it says when the Yadim were going out of the synagogue, the temple, Hagoi besought that these Dabar, talking to Israel, might be Yarah to them the next Shabbat.
Right, right.
They wasn't coming back the next first day of the week. They said they wanted to be taught the next Shabbat.
Right, right.
Why? Because that holy day that Yahweh set up, the first holy day, every 7th day, that's the best day to hear the word, and the best place to hear it in is at the sanctuary, at the temple that Yahweh set up. All right, so here's the Go'i wanting to hear it. Next Shabbat, verse 43.
Now when the congregation was broken up, many of the Yadams and religious proselytes followed Shaul and Barnabas, who, speaking to them, persuaded them to continue in the grace of Elohim. 44. And the next Shabbat day came almost the whole city together to hear the word of Elohim.
Why? Because Yahweh's people were doing what they were supposed to do.
Right.
It says, now when the congregation was broken up, many of the Yadim and religious proselytes, so this is all different ethnic groups, followed Shaul and Barnabas, who were married to them, persuaded them to continue in Hain of Elohim. And the next Shabbat Yom came almost the whole city together to Shamar, the Dabar of Elohim. So that's how it happens.
Yep.
All right? Israel obeyed Yahweh, then Yahweh adds the increase. Yahweh does what he's supposed to do. We're in Acts, let's go to the 15th chapter. But we want to understand the Shabbat, the first holy day that Yahweh set up, every 7th day is the best time to read your Bible.
Yes, it is.
At the temple. Acts 15, verse 21.
Hallelujah.
For Moshe of old time hath in every city them that preach him, being read in the synagogues every Shabbat day.
Just like we're doing now.
Right, right.
For Moshe of old time hath in every city them that Yarah him, being read in the temple every Shabbat Yom. So Moshe was one of the Nabi that we're reading. We've turned from Genesis to Revelation, Exodus. What we're reading, what Yahweh dictated to his men to read on the Shabbat day, just as it has been done from the beginning of time.
Yes.
Go to Mark, the 6th chapter. So we're not doing anything new. We're doing exactly what Yahweh directed to be done. That's why he said, set all your labors aside on that 7th day.
Right, right.
This is holy unto me, and this is what you're supposed to be doing on the 7th day.
Right.
Mark, the 6th chapter. We're going to start at verse 1.
Hallelujah.
And verse 1.
And he went out from thence and came into his own country, and his disciples followed him.
Verse 2.
And when the Shabbat day was come, he began to teach in the synagogue. And many, hearing him, were astonished, saying, From whence had this man these things? And what wisdom is this which is given unto him, that even such mighty works are wrought by his hands?
All right, now it's talking about Yahshua. It says he went out from thence and came into his own country, and his disciplined ones followed him. And when Shabbat Yom was come, he began to Yarah in the temple. Well, this is what's happening now. People are being taught in temples throughout the world. Why? Because it's Shabbat Yom.
Yep.
And again, the Shabbat day starts at the evening part first. It says, he began to teach in the temple, and many Shemarim were astonished. Shemar, from whence hath this Adam these things? And what kokma is this which is given unto him, that even such mighty works are wrought by his hands? All right, let's go to Luke, the 4th chapter. Some people think when they come into they call it the church house or the church building.
Yeah.
They think it's strange if you open your Bible and you start reading the Bible and teaching from the Bible. But that's only people that don't understand what Yahweh set up as this holy day.
Right.
And the first day of the week is not a holy day. It's just a day that people go to assemble.
Right.
But this is a holy
Yes, it is. Thus says Yahweh.
Luke, the 4th chapter. And we're going to start at verse 15.
Hallelujah.
Luke 4, let's start at verse 15, please.
And he taught in their synagogues, being glorified of all.
Now this is the Shabbat day, the weekly Shabbat. He taught in their temples, being kabod of all. Verse 16.
And he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up. And as his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Shabbat day and stood up for to read.
Now this is talking about Yahshua. You read up further if you don't know who it is. And he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up. This is his hometown. And as his practice, as what he always did, every 7th day, on the holy day that Yahweh set up. This was what Yahshua did. That's why this is what we do.
Right.
As his practice was, as his routine was, he went into the temple on the Shabbat Yom and stood up to read. This is what we're doing now. We're reading the word of Yahweh.
Right.
This is what we do at the temple on the Shabbat Yom. This is what Yahweh commanded us to do. Verse 17.
And there was delivered unto him the book of the prophet Isaiah. And when he had opened the book, he found the place where it was written.
So they did not have the Kadash Barith. So he was reading from the Zakimbari. He was reading from the scrolls. And he went over into Yeshayah.
Right.
And he started reading about himself, where the Ruach HaKadosh through Yeshayah foretold that he would be coming to the earth. All right, we're in Luke. Let's go to the 6th chapter. Luke 6. So he read from the scrolls, where we're reading from the scrolls now, except they've been converted into a book.
Right.
Luke 6, and they've been translated into English. 6 and 6.
Hallelujah.
And it came to pass also on another Shabbat that he entered into the synagogue and taught. And there was a man whose right hand was withered.
All right, so here we reading about Yahshua coming into the temple on the Shabbat again.
Right.
It came to pass also on another Shabbat that he entered into the temple and taught, and there was an Adam whose Yaman hand was withered. All right, let's go to Luke the 13th chapter. So you're going to say, well, you know, Yeshua, some Shabbats he came and some he didn't. He came every Shabbat.
Right.
Just like my Iysh.
Hallelujah.
Never missed
Hallelujah.
a yearly holy day or a 7th-day holy day. All the days that he came to Yahweh. He came at the age of 40. He went to wait on the resurrection at the age of 72, and he never missed not one first holy day, that's 7th holy day, or any of the yearly holy days. Praise Yahweh.
Praise God.
I pray that Yahweh will raise up other men and women.
Hallelujah.
Just as in love with Yahweh as he was.
Yes.
To do what he did.
Praise God.
Luke 13, he was modeling after Yahshua.
That's
so this
it.
is what Yahshua did.
That's it.
13 and 10, please.
Hallelujah.
And he was teaching in one of the synagogues on the Shabbat.
There, that's talking about Yahshua again. And he was Yerah in a cod of the temples on Shabbat. That's what we do. Go to Acts 17. So we want to hook up temple and Shabbat. Temple, Shabbat. And that's for Hasatan and for those that have tried to unhook it. No, they're bound together forever.
Yeah.
Acts 17. And we're going to read verse 2.
Hallelujah.
Acts 17. And We read about what Yahshua's practice was.
Right,
Now
right.
let's read about what another servant of Yahweh's practice was. Acts 17 and verse 2.
Praise Yahweh.
And Shaul, as his manner was, went in unto them, and 3 Shabbat days reasoned with them out of the scriptures.
All right, and here's this Ebed Shaul. It says, as his manner or his custom or his routine was.
Right, right.
That's what servants of Yahweh's routine is.
Yes, it is.
Their lives are circulating around the temple, the Shabbat.
That's it.
That holy day that comes most frequently.
Yes.
That's where they get their mark. That's where they get their proof of who they are.
Hallelujah.
That's where their identities become formed.
Yes.
That's the holy day that comes most
Praise
often.
the mighty Yah.
And if they can't connect with the one that comes most frequently, then the devil can shake her. He can do anything to her.
Right.
But when they get that, and they just so no matter what happens, it's happening in their body, what's happening in their family, what's going on.
Right. Y'all right. Tell it like it is so them to know.
Shaul, as his custom was, went in unto them in 3 Shabbat Yom. He's talking about 3 weeks. Because
Right.
this holy day comes every 7
Right.
days.
Right.
3 Shabbat Yom. That doesn't mean he didn't come all the other Shabbats, but it's saying this is what he did specifically on these 3 Shabbat. He reasoned with them out of the scripture. So again, he's reading the Bible. They're discussing the Bible. All right, what Yahweh said. All right, Acts 18.
Praise the mighty Yah.
Hallelujah. It's nice to know what you're supposed to be doing here.
All right.
That's why
Wonderful.
when people come up in here and they want to tell us about a business venture that they're embarking on, or they want us to look at this or that, which is not related and is not in the Bible, they shouldn't be surprised when we turn them off.
Right.
And let them know, look, I'm not interested in that. Look, I had 6 days worth of that.
That's right. This is Shabbat. This is Yah's day.
You can call me outside of that.
Yeah.
That is if you're interested, but don't come up in the temple passing out your business card. You're supposed to be passing out Yahweh's business card.
Right.
All right, again, we had 6 days worth of that. And Yahweh said, lay it down. I'm glad to lay it down.
Hallelujah.
Acts 18, and I'm going to lay it down for the full 24 hours.
That right.
Let's
That's
read
it.
verse 4, please.
Hallelujah.
And he reasoned in the synagogue every Shabbat, and persuaded the Yadams and the Greeks.
So this is a servant of Yahweh, and he was in the temple every Shabbat.
Right.
Every 7 days. Why? Because it's a holy day. That's why we're in the Shabbat in the temple every 7th day.
Right.
He reasoned with them, in other words, read the Bible in the temple every Shabbat, and persuaded the Yadim and the Goim. All right, let's go to Matthew's, the 12th chapter, or Matthitya, the 12th chapter. So the 7th day, this holy day, is owned by Yahshua. Why? Because Yahshua is the creator.
Right.
He owns this. Matthew's 12 and verse 8. Matthew's 12, verse 8, please.
For the Son of Man is Yahweh is master even of the Shabbat day.
All right, the 7th day is owned by Yahshua. It
Yes, it
says,
is.
for Haban of Adam is Adon, or master, even of the Shabbat Yom. So this English word, Lord, is the Greek word Kyrios. That's Kyrios. It's found at Strong's number 2962, or Kairos. Kyros, meaning supremacy, supreme in authority, controller. So the creator controls everything. He is the controller. He's a supreme authority. Master as a respectful title. G-O-D-L-O-R-D, sir. It means he to whom a person or thing belongs. Guess who we belong to? The creator.
All right.
About which He has the power of deciding. And he decided 6 days you work,
Right.
the 7th day you rest.
Right.
He's the possessor and disposer of a thing. He is the owner. He's the one who has control of the person. He's the one that has control of the state. He's the sovereign. He's the prince. See, all of this L-O-R-D means this. He's the chief. It's a title of honor expressive of respect and reverence,
Right.
with which servants greet their master.
Hallelujah.
We're here greeting Yahweh
That's
now.
right.
Right? Praise Yahweh.
Praise up.
This title is given to G-O-D and to the Messiah.
Right.
Go to Mark, the 2nd chapter. So Yahshua owns the 7th day. Mark 2. And verse 28.
Hallelujah.
So Matthew said it. Now we're going to hear Mark say it. 2 and 28.
Therefore the Son of Man is master also of the Shabbat.
Yes, he is. Therefore, Adam is Adon also of HaShabbat. So that's not the only thing he owns. He's just saying the weekly 7th day, that holy day, he owns that too. Well, he owns the rest of them.
Right.
The ones that are in Leviticus, the 23rd chapter.
Right.
He owns the mitzvah. He owns the commandments.
Okay.
Why? He gave them all.
Hallelujah.
He was the one when Moshe went up on the mountain and carved the 10 with his finger. That was the Creator doing that.
That's right.
All
Yahshua.
right. Let's go to Luke. Luke, the 6th chapter. So we heard Matthew. We heard Mark. Now let's see this third man, Luke 6. And they were in the temple every 7th Yom too.
Okay.
Luke 6 and verse 5.
Hallelujah.
And he said unto them that the Son of Man is master also of the Shabbat.
All right, so he's master of some other things, but of this holy, the first holy day, he's the Adon, or master, or the chief, the sovereign, the owner, also of the Shabbat.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to Mark, the 2nd chapter. So the 7th day is a gift to us.
Yes, it is.
It's a good gift.
Yes, it is. The best.
It gives us a legal reason, because man would work you to get it.
Yeah. 24.
Because you see, they have places where they work 7 days a week, right?
Right.
And man will work himself to death. He would work 7 days a week, thinking that he could, and I'll just get this money, and I'll just keep working, and drop dead.
Right.
Because Yahweh knows, that's why he set it up. He knows man needs to rest, Mark 2, and he needs to do it every 7 days. That's why he set it up every 7 days.
That's how your body is designed.
Yes, and I'm glad the brother mentioned that, because Yahweh put a rhythm within our bodies, and when you search it out, scientists have found out that our bodies actually start shutting down certain systems on that 7th day Shabbat. And there are things that start rejuvenating themselves and changing every 7 days. He's got a biorhythm within our bodies.
Right.
To where our bodies go into rest mode.
Yeah.
So just imagine what is happening to people's bodies when they're pushing against that, and they're creating chaos in their own bodies and bringing on dis-ease. D-I-S-E-A-S-E, which is disease.
Okay.
Bringing it on themselves by rebelling against what Yahweh said.
That's it.
But the body automatically goes into that circadian rhythm. So search it out, and you'll see that it's built in there.
Hallelujah.
Into every man, whether they're a believer or not.
Right.
Yahweh designed it that way.
That's it.
All right, so but the 7th day is a gift.
Yes, it is.
And I'm grateful for it, and I fully embrace it.
Yes.
Mark 2 and 27.
Hallelujah.
And he said unto them, the Shabbat was made for man, and not man for the Shabbat.
All right, so this is a gift. He amar unto them. This is the Creator teaching man about the 7-day Shabbat. That first holy day. He among to them, the Shabbat was made for Adam.
Yep.
And not Adam for the Shabbat.
Right.
So we have to get wisdom concerning, okay, what is it about this 7th day? Why did Yahweh command that I rest every 7th day? What's going on with this? Instead of fighting against it, sometimes in people's infantile mind, they think Yahweh is trying to take something away from them or to cut down their fun or whatever, and they got it all backwards and twisted because they've been listening to Hasatan, the enemy, more than they've been listening to Yahweh. Yahweh is getting stuff to us. He's not taking anything away from us. All right, let's go to Hebrews, the 4th chapter. So the 7th day is a gift to us. And Yahshua and his people faithfully keep the 7th day as a return gift to Yahweh. This is how you thank Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
You recognize, oh, this is your gift. I accept it. Every 7th day I accept it.
Hallelujah.
I'm here. I receive your gift.
Hallelujah.
I'm glad you gave it to me. Hebrews, the 4th chapter. So now we see the 7th day in the 4th chapter will always be a day of rest.
Yep.
For us as Yahweh's people.
Right.
Now he says for the people that are going the other way, that won't be in the kingdom, they will have no rest, what? Day nor night.
Right.
No rest.
Gnashing of teeth.
And see, Yahweh calls that a torment. Where you have no rest. That's a lake of fire on earth.
Yep.
Where you have no rest.
No rest. No shalom.
Why? Because Yahweh set up shalom for us every 7th day. So we can have just a little taste of shalom.
Right?
Hebrews 4. And then people don't want it. How crazy can you be? 4 and verse 9.
Hallelujah.
There remaineth therefore a rest to the people of Elohim.
Yes, there does remain a rest. We're enjoying a rest every 7th Yom. We're enjoying a rest every yearly Yom.
Yep.
But also there remains another rest for us. When we get to the kingdom, it's going to be a rest.
Eternal rest.
During 1,000 years, it's going to be a rest. All right, let's go to Isaiah or Yeshayah 66. There remains therefore a rest. Then people want to start resting on Sunday or rest on Monday. No. Go work those 6 days.
Right.
I always said what's supposed to be the work day. But if you mess up and go to resting during those days, I tell you about, okay, well this needs doing and that needs doing on the Shabbat day when you're commanded to rest.
Right.
And then you'll mess yourself up if you get up trying to do that stuff. Do it on the day you're supposed to. You have more days you're supposed to do something than you're not supposed to.
Right.
Isaiah 66. Let's start at verse 22.
Hallelujah.
66 and verse 22, please.
For as the new heavens and the new earth, which I will make, shall remain before me, saith Yahweh, so shall your seed and your name remain.
Verse 23.
And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Shabbat to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith Yahweh.
All right, here's Yahweh saying it'll come to pass. And this is talking about the new Shemaiah.
Right.
The new era.
Right.
It's going to pass that from Akkad new moon to another, and from one Akkad Shabbat to another. He's talking about the weekly Shabbat, that first holy day that he created. Shall all flesh come to Shaka before me, Amar Yahweh. What are we doing now? Shaka Yahweh.
Right.
That's what we're here for. That's what we do. We do it during the day, during the week, the 6 days, but we also officially do it every 7th Yom.
Yep.
Why? Because we see, okay, we're a part of eternity.
Yes, we are.
We're just practicing and doing
That's
now
all
what
we're
we will be doing all during eternity. All right, go to Ezekiel, Yekizkel, the 46th chapter. So he's saying, yeah, as the new heavens and the new earth, and every Shabbat they're going to come to Shaka before me, just like we're doing now.
Right.
Fancy that. Yahweh knows what he's doing. He say, okay, come on now. Get in practice.
Get it now.
That's right.
Get it in now.
Do it now. now. Don't think you're going to be rebelling now. You're not going to get there.
No, you ain't
You're
gonna
not
be
going to
there.
get there. I believe he said in Kifa, if the Sadiq scarcely make it in. So in other words, that's telling you, you better do whatever you can,
I know.
as much as you can.
I said, stay to do what thus says Yahweh.
Because we are the righteous, but he said if we
I
scarcely
know,
make
right?
it in, where is all these other people, the outright rebellious, gonna appear? They're not. They're gonna appear in the lake of fire. Ezekiel 46, let's read verse 1, please.
Hallelujah.
Thus says Yahweh Elohim, the gate of the inner court that looketh toward the east shall be shut the 6 working days, but on the Shabbat it shall be open, and in the day of the new moon it shall be open.
So look at this. This is talking about the kingdom.
Yeah.
It's talking about the gate of the inner court. It's talking about the sanctuary in the kingdom.
Hallelujah.
It said, thus Amar Yahweh Elohim, the gate of the inner court that looketh toward the east shall be shut the 6 working Yowm. Uh-oh, you mean we're not going to be sitting on a cloud playing a harp all day? No, you're going to be doing the same thing you're doing here, working for 6 days. Except it won't be this secular work where people try to just wring you out like you're a cloth and just squeeze the last drop of anything out of you. So you just so tired you go home and just fall out and just sit on the sofa and flick the TV on and you're just motionless, and then you fall asleep on the TV because they're just so unrighteous. They just try to just squeeze every last drop of energy out of you. It won't be like that. It'll be like the refreshing Shabbat work that we do here. When we set out food and when we're up teaching the word or when we're studying the word, we're getting renewed energy. We're being pampered. Just like we're going to the beauty salon or just like we're going to the masseuse and they're just massaging us all over. Getting rid of all that mess where they just try to just run you ragged. It says, the gate of the inner court that looks toward the east is going to be shut the 6 working Yom. That's the rule. Work 6, rest 1. Work 6, rest 1. Work 6, Shabbat 7. Work 6, Shabbat 7. It's going to be just, it's talking about the kingdom here.
Eternally.
And again, it's a whole different thing when you're talking about work, when you're working for Yahweh. And since Yahweh has me working for him full time, I can't tell you how blessed I am.
Hallelujah. I know.
Working for Yahweh.
I know.
And it's just a totally different feel.
Yes,
I don't have nobody
praise the mighty Yah.
get started on something and then come interrupt me on it. The Ruach lets me go all the way through and finish it. It just, there's nothing like working for Yahweh. 100% of the time. And what helped me really appreciate it is out here working in this secular world where you had these people, come on, I'm telling you. Let's go to Exodus 16. So when we remember the 7th day, we do not do secular work on it.
Y'all right.
So Yahweh said the title of the lesson is Remember the Shabbat day. So when we remember it, it's not just a mental coming into your mind, oh, okay, 7th day is the Shabbat day. And as Ruach gave an example, and you at your secular job on the 7th day, and then talking about, okay, I'm not going to do as much work since it's the Shabbat. You're not even supposed to be there.
Y'all right.
It's not a mental thing when it's talking about remembering.
It's an action.
It's an action, that's right. So when we remember it, we do not do secular or the things that we do on the other 6 days. Exodus 16, let's start at verse 25.
Hallelujah.
And Moshe said, eat that today, for today is a Shabbat unto Yahweh. Today ye shall not find it in the field.
So here's Yahweh teaching our people about, in a formal capacity, because our forefathers knew about this before the children of Israel came out of Mizraim. He's just doing it now in a formal capacity because they had kind of lost that because they had been in slavery for 430 years. All right, and then no doubt a lot of them had got into disobedience and stopped keeping the Shabbat. Or either the people of Mizraim would force them to work on the Shabbat. All right. Moshe Amar, eat that today, for today is a Shabbat unto Yahweh. Today ye shall not find it in the field. So he's saying, he's talking about that first holy day.
Right,
that
right.
7th day, the weekly Shabbat. Yahweh's not going to put anything out there because he said, don't work on the weekly Shabbat.
Right,
he
right.
said, 6 days you got. All right, verse 26.
6 days ye shall gather it, but on the Shabbat, 7th day, which is the Shabbat, in it there shall be none.
He said you got 6 days to gather it, and Yahweh put a double portion out on the 6th day.
Right, right.
So they would have some for the Shabbat. And of course, people being people, Yahweh just said, okay, just gather a certain amount every day.
Right.
Well, they tried to do it during the week. Yahweh only let it last 2 days on the 6th day.
Okay.
If they got too much, the 1st through the 6th day, the 1st through the 5th day, and tried to keep it over so that they have some, Yahweh made it stink, and he made worms come in. To teach them, no. You do this 6 days, and on the 6th day, I'll give you the double portion
Right.
for the Shabbat. And then there's some that went out on the 7th day to try to get some. But he was teaching them, just like he's still teaching us. All right? Exodus 16, let's read verse 29, please.
See, for that Yahweh hath given you the Shabbat. Therefore he giveth you on the 6th day the bread of 2 days. Abide ye every man in his place. Let no man go out of his place on the 7th day.
So he's giving them instructions,
Right.
giving us instructions, letting us know how to do it. He said, see, pay attention now, for Yahweh hath given you the Shabbat, that first holy day, every 7 days. Therefore, he gives you on the 6th Yom, the lechem of 2 Yom. So Yahweh is giving us, and you notice a lot of people get paid on, what, the 6th day, Fridays.
Yeah.
Now the world has changed it to where, okay, I'll get paid Wednesday, this or once a month or whatever. But I would say, just off the top of my head, I believe that most people get paid on Fridays.
Yeah.
All right. He says, stay you every Adam in his place. Let no Adam go out of his place on the 7th Yom.